Peace ladies, welcome back to the Modern Goddess channel. So in this video, I am going to be talking about how to activate the heroic instinct within your man, all right? So I'm going to be talking about what that even is, why it is relevant, and which feminine traits you're going to need to tap into in order to do this. So what is the heroic instinct? Basically, ladies, it is the innate desire that your man has to feel needed, to feel respected based off of his ability to make decisions, his ability to solve a problem for you, his ability to fix something for you. It is a man's desire to feel like a protector, to feel like a leader, to feel brave, to feel like a provider. It is his desire to feel confident and competent and capable, okay? So basically, it is the desire to have all of the traits and characteristics that come with being a hero, and your man has that within him. Every masculine man has that within him. However, not every man is really aware of this on a conscious level, because there are a lot of men, and you might be guilty of doing this to your man, but there are a lot of men who never really felt like their input was valued. They've never really been dependent on to be a leader. No one has ever really asked them to solve a problem or to make a decision. You know, no one's ever really asked them to really fix anything. A lot of men have been kind of babied and coddled in a sense, and a lot isn't really expected of them in a relationship, not because women have low standards, but I think because a lot of women want to prove that they are capable of doing things themselves. A lot of women want to prove that, you know, that they're independent and you know, all of this stuff, that they bring the same things to a table that a man does or whatever. And so because of that, they kind of treat their boyfriends, or like the men in their life, they treat them more like a son than they do an actual man. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of men will have a woman that is very successful financially, a very professional woman, a woman that has highly decorated with all of her credentials and things, but he won't be fully happy in that relationship and will leave her for a woman that doesn't have half of that type of success, you know, because with this other woman, he feels needed. He feels like a man. He feels like a hero. He feels valued and appreciated. Okay. Now, in no way does this mean that you need to lessen yourself or make yourself feel inadequate or inferior in order for you to keep your man. It simply means that you need to create opportunities for your man to feel like a hero in your life. You need to make sure that there is space and room for him to be a man, so that he can feel needed and valued and appreciated and respected with you. And now this does not mean that you have to do the whole damsel in distress thing, because the damsel in distress, that works when you're trying to just attract a man, you know, and you're just like, oh, excuse me, sir, could you help me with this, you know. But you know, after a while, that if you do that in a relationship, it comes off as neediness, and it's, you know. But what this means for you is that you're going to take your desires, your wants, and your needs, and you kind of translate that into requests that will trigger his heroic instinct, okay? And so I'm going to get into that in a second, what that means and how you do that. But let's get back into why this is important. A lot of women have issues with getting their man to commit to them. And that is what this is mainly about, getting that commitment and strengthening that chemistry and that connection by, again, activating that heroic instinct within him. So when you do this, ladies, one of the things that you need to understand is that you automatically become a part of his story. You become a part of his like success story. So every time he thinks about the challenges that he's overcome, or when he thinks about the times in his life that he's felt most confident, most competent, most needed, most respected, he will think about you. You will be associated with that good feeling that comes with him becoming more masculine, becoming more of a man, you know, really being challenged, of course, in a gentle way that kind of pushed him to the next level. You will be a part of that story. Okay? And when you do that with a man, when he associates you with that good feeling of success and accomplishment and masculinity, then he's more than likely want to keep you along. He's going to want to be around you more. He's going to want you to be a part of his life. He's more likely to commit to you because he's going to feel more appreciated, more valued with you, more needed, more respected. He's going to feel more like a man with you. Unfortunately, there are way too many women nowadays that don't really understand a man's desire to be a hero, that don't really understand a man's desire to feel needed and respected in a relationship. And a lot of these women take a lot of pride in being, I don't like to use the word independent because I really wish a lot of you would stop using that word to describe yourself. Let's just say a lot of women take pride in their ability to be self-sufficient and to do things on their own and get things done by themselves, which really is kind of telling. It just shows that a lot of women are kind of addicted to stress and struggle and isolation. But nonetheless, because so many women don't understand this, again, they get into these relationships with these men and then they treat these men more like sons, and not in a disrespectful manner, but you love him the way a mother would love a son and not the way a wife would love her husband. It's not a spousal love, it's a motherly love, And again, men want to feel respected. They want to feel like men. They don't want to feel like boys. Okay? And so ladies, you want to make sure that you are using your femininity to help activate this hero instinct within your man. And also it will definitely help take some pressure and some stress off of you, which is one of the things that heroes do. They help relieve pressure and stress and potential harm from people's lives. Okay? So let's get into how you do this. And now I'm only going to give a few examples in this video because I don't want the video to be too long, but make sure you visit my website at sarahlenacoaching.com for more free information, and also if you would like to inquire about femininity coaching. So let's start off with one that I see as a very common issue within many relationships nowadays, and that is allowing your man to problem solve. So the way this is probably already going in many relationships nowadays is that you present a problem to your man or you vent to him. Whether you want a solution or not, you're probably going to get one, and then you don't listen to it. You don't take the advice. You don't accept the guidance. You might give him a lot of pushback and argue with him as to why that's not a good idea. And he is left feeling like, okay, what is the point of me even trying to help this woman? She doesn't listen to me. She's disagreeable. She's combative. She's argumentative, blah, 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 right? So what you want to do differently, ladies, in order to activate the heroic instinct in this way is ask him for advice. Okay? It's great when a man offers a solution, but when you come to him and you're like, King, I'm dealing with this problem and I could really use some help figuring out the best way to go about this. Or babe, this particular problem is really bothering me and I'm really open to suggestions on what you think I should do about it. Or, you really just come to him, and however you want to word it, you just letting him know that you want his advice, you want his guidance. And so it's great when a man offers solutions. That shows that he's in tune with his masculinity. But if you want to help him activate that heroic instinct, it's much better if you ask him for a solution. Okay, this shows him A, that you value his input, and B, that you actually think that he is capable of solving the problem, that you actually believe that he can do it. So remember this, ladies, for whenever you are presenting a problem to him, start it off with asking for advice, okay? And so that way, when he hears that you want his help, he'll hear every word you're saying. He's going to be completely tuned in. That hero instinct is going to come in like, okay, my lady wants my help. She wants bad advice. Let me tune into it so I can see what I can do to help my woman. He's going to be there. Okay, so automatically he's going to be tuned in. So here's the kicker though, ladies. Once he gives you that guidance, when he offers that solution, you cannot give him a bunch of pushback. You can't be all disagreeable. You can't start arguing with him. You can't be like, oh, well, never mind, I'll just figure it out myself. Or, oh, no, that's not a good idea. Unless there is a very important detail that he missed, of course, you can bring that up. But outside of that, you're not going to try to debate with him or try to take back the fact that you wanted his advice. Don't do that, okay? You actually listen to it, and you're going to have to tap into, wait for it, submissiveness. Yes, you're going to have to be cooperative and submissive. You can't be disagreeable, argumentative, or none of that. You're going to have to actually take in the solution and then implement it, meaning actually do what he said you should do. I know some women probably heard that, like, oh, I should listen to it and actually implement it. Like, oh, I don't know if I should listen to his advice. And ladies, I just find it so ironic that so many women do not value their man's solutions and his advice until they hear a complete stranger say the exact same thing. That's crazy, ladies. We gotta stop doing that, okay? It's crazy that a man that you know has your best interest in heart, he cares about your well-being, he wants to protect you, he wants you to be safe, he loves you, you're very vulnerable with him, he knows your secrets, he knows your life story. You are less likely to listen to his solutions and let him solve a problem for you than you are a complete stranger that knows absolutely nothing about you. That doesn't make any sense. And if you really do not trust his guidance and you really do not believe in his decision making skills and his problem solving skills, then that's very telling on your part. That says a lot about your standards. Why would you choose to be in a relationship with a man that you don't trust to make good decisions? That doesn't make any sense, okay? So he's your man. You decided you wanted to be with him, so you're going to have to trust him. Of course, people make mistakes. You got to understand we all are growing and we're all learning. So you got to realize that there's going to have to be room for error on your part and his part. Now let's get back into it though. After you implement it and you actually do the thing that he said to do, you need to let him know how it went. If it went great, you need to let him know, you know what, King, I tried that thing you told me or did what you said and it worked. You know, make sure he knows that you appreciate it. That way he can feel even more confident in his ability to solve problems, and it's going to make him want to be a better leader for you, okay? And even if it doesn't work, at least he knows that you listened. Okay, and you don't want to like nag him or, you know, be like, oh, I'm so disappointed in you, you gave me bad advice. You don't want to do that, but just let him know that you at least tried it. And again, if it did not work, it will still kind of push him to be a better leader for you in the future. So ladies, that's one way to activate the heroic instinct within a man, allowing him to solve a problem for you, actually implementing it, and then showing appreciation if it works, okay? Now, another way that you can activate the heroic instinct within a man is allowing him to show you that he is dependable or reliable. There are many ways that you can do this. I'll give you a real simple example in this video. Let's say you need a ride somewhere, okay? And your car isn't working or whatever, and you let him know, okay? This is what I was talking about as far as taking your desires and your needs and translating them into requests, okay? It's not being a damsel in distress. It's just a need or desire or want. And so in this case, it would be a ride that you would need, okay? And let's add on top of that that you need to be at this place at a specific time. Okay, you let him know this. You tell him the story of what happened to the car and all of that. You let him know what it is you need, and then you let him be the hero. Okay, now if he does show up and give you a ride and he gets you there on time, he gets to walk away from that knowing that he did something great. He feels like a hero. He was the one that showed up for you when no one else did. You know what I mean? It makes him feel better about himself. Now, if you live in kind of a congested area where there's a lot of public transportation, you might not can relate to that example. So let me give you another one. Let's say you ask him for help with something and he says he's going to do it. He says, this is what I'm going to do to help you, okay? And he actually gives you a date and everything that he's going to do it. When he does it, if he does it, you make sure you acknowledge the fact verbally. You say to him, you express how much you appreciate the fact that he did what he said he was going to do. That shows reliability. That shows that he is dependable, okay? That shows that his word is worth something, okay? Because his actions matched. Now, if he does it and you don't acknowledge it, he might not feel like a hero. he might not feel very appreciated. But in order to really activate that heroic instinct, once he does what he says he's going to do, ladies, you need to say something like, oh my God, thank you so much. You actually did it. I really appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. You know, big him up for that. There has to be some type of reward within all of this, okay? Another way to activate the heroic instinct is through physical strength, allowing him to show you how strong he can be, okay? Now, with this one, ladies, you're going to have to tap into your softness, your gentleness. Think of yourself as like a delicate flower, all right? Because 9 times out of 10, anything that you are asking him to do as far as physical strength goes, you probably can do it yourself. You know what I mean? Like moving furniture for you, opening a jar for you, carrying something to the car or something into the house for you. You usually can do these things on your own, okay? However, when you ask him to do it, that is you being soft and gentle and delicate. That is you being within your feminine, okay? So that is something that you're going to want to use. And men love it. Masculine men love it when they are able to be of service to a woman in that way. A man loves to feel like, oh, you know what, I was needed today. I did something that, you know, she couldn't do. Of course you can. But it really does help him tap into that side of him, make him feel like the hero, like he saved the day. Another way to activate the heroic instinct is to let him show you how brave he can be or how much of a protector he can be. It could be something very minute, like killing a spider. That's not really minute to me. That's major to me because I don't like spiders at all. So it's a big deal if someone kills a spider for me. But that shows that he's brave. Or even if it's something on a more serious note. Let's say that you're in a relationship with a man. You don't want to do this to a guy that you're just getting to know. But let's say that you're actually in a relationship with a man and you're having issues with some other guy not leaving you alone. Let's say another man is harassing you, okay? And you're not entertaining this man. You're not doing anything that's asking for this attention. He's just one of those weirdos that just doesn't know when to stop, you know? If you tell him this and he's a masculine man, he will probably want to protect you in some way, shape, or form, okay? So that lets him tap into his heroic instinct and be like, okay, you know what? She needs protection. This shows how brave he can be, how dependable he can be, and all of that. And through every single one of these examples that I've just shown you, ladies, there are 2 main feminine traits that you have to tap into. Number 1 is vulnerability. You're going to have to be vulnerable. You're going to have to be open and transparent. You're going to have to be okay with letting him know that you have a need. Okay, you're going to have to be able to share with him what is wrong, what it is that you need. Okay, that is part of being vulnerable. You can't be guarded, you can't be proud, you know, and there's nothing wrong with having pride, absolutely, but you don't want to be so proud to the point where you don't want to ask for help. Okay, so that's 1. You're going to need to be vulnerable. The other feminine trait that you're absolutely going to have to tap into is receptivity. And there are a few reasons why a lot of women don't want to be receptive. But one that I see that's very common in relationships is that women kind of think for their men. They'll say, you know, I don't want to inconvenience him. I don't want to take from him. I don't want to do. And it's like, well, if he's offering and this is something that he wants to do, this is something that makes him feel more like a man, it makes him feel needed, makes him feel appreciated, then why would you take that from him? Why would you not allow him to do it? And think about it, ladies. Your man probably has absolutely no problems with letting you know when you're doing something wrong. He probably has absolutely no problems with vocalizing when you are inconveniencing him in some way. So what makes you think that when it comes to being receptive that all of a sudden he's not going to tell you when it's a problem? He'll tell you. So don't think for him. He's a grown man. He can think for himself. He can speak for himself. Don't be afraid to be receptive and be appreciative. That's the thing. You need to be appreciative of whatever it is that he's giving you, whether it be monetary support, whether it be physical help, whether it be guidance, advice, solutions, whatever that is. Be open to receiving that and understand that you are deserving of this as long as you are reciprocating in a feminine way, okay? And so these are all the examples that I'm going to share in this video, ladies, but make sure you visit my website at sarahlenacoaching.com for more free feminine information and also to inquire about femininity coaching, okay? I really hope this helps, ladies. Peace and much love.